Hey. I'm actually really pumped to make this video because I know that a lot of you have the interest to make the move. Honestly, I can't believe that I'm actually here. I'm so freaking grateful and so blessed. And I'm honestly so proud of myself because that was all I wanted for years, was to finally make the move and just explore the world and see what life has to offer. And I just felt so stuck and trapped. So it's amazing to be out here. I feel so free. I've never been so happy in my entire life. Not only I can feel a difference, but I know that everyone else in my life has noticed a major difference in who I am as a person. And it's honestly such a beautiful thing. If you are contemplating moving, you can do it.
The truth.
All right, so there's a few parts to this story, and I definitely have questions that you guys have been asking me that you want me to answer about, like specific questions about this topic. So I did write down notes, of course. I always write down notes like an old lady. To start off this video, I think it's important to just reiterate and emphasize how badly and how important it was to me to move. It was my dream for years and years. My family knew that I was gonna move. Well, that's the thing. I don't really know if they ever thought that I had it in me to finally just do it, which feels so good to just like actually be out here. As much as I miss them, as much as I love them, I just know that so many people doubted me too, but that's a whole different topic. I just want to reiterate the fact that if you want something so badly, it is so possible. But I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. Don't miss it at all whatsoever. I miss my family, and that is it. I won't say that I will never go back because you never know, but I have zero intention of moving back. Experiencing life in the Midwest for 20 years and then moving to the West Coast. I'm now in Portland, Oregon. Sorry, probably should have mentioned that. There's nothing like it. I haven't even seen that much since I've been out here. We live downtown Portland, so we don't really live in like the nature-esque part of Oregon, but it still doesn't feel real. It really doesn't. It's actually really cool to see how much an environment can affect a person, especially somebody that's not used to a certain environment. Like, I just can't believe that I can walk outside and see a mountain. I can't believe that I'm not that far away from the ocean. Oregon has everything. You can go to the freaking coast. You can go to the mountain. You can go hiking. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many different things. There's also city life, and I just can't believe that I didn't do it sooner. The reason that I had wanted to move so badly was not because of just where I was at. It was more or less thinking about all of the things that the world had to offer and the fact that I hadn't seen any of it. And it started to drive me a little bit crazy because I knew that it was possible. I knew that I could do it. I knew that all it took was for me to just finally ask myself, how badly do I want this? And I made it happen, and you can make it happen. It sounds so complicated, and I know that there's so many questions that you ask. A lot of things too come down to money too, right? So it can be hard and it can be really tough, and you can struggle and be scrounging for freaking change. I swear, I promise you, I've been there. I was homeless until I moved here. My boyfriend and I were sleeping in our truck. We honestly came from nothing, and it's just so doable. And I mean, granted, we are in a studio, a tiny, tiny, small studio apartment. We have each other, and we have what we said we were going to do. And that's powerful, you guys. Waking up in the morning knowing that we did that. We did that. I also definitely believe in the power of manifestation, and what you think about, you become. I think that that's so real and so prevalent in all of our lives. So I think that the more and more I thought about it, and the more and more I pictured myself actually being somewhere and actually moving and actually creating a whole new life for myself, I think that that was a type of motivation and encouragement essentially for me to finally just make the decision by doing nothing but just thinking. You definitely need to find out what motivates you the most, whether it be like losing a bunch of money, or in my case, I had a bunch of people f me over. I had a bunch of people steal money from me. I had people accusing me of things. There were so many different things going on in my personal life. And that was motivation for me to just get away from those type of people. But not only those people, the people that I was choosing to hang out with. I just started noticing a lot of things. When you want something so badly and you can see and picture yourself somewhere way far away from where you are and what you're doing, that is motivation enough, because I was disgusted at myself. I could not believe that I had spent so much time with these people that had no goals and had no motivation. And I'm not bashing on anyone, because everyone has their own journey, but they weren't motivating me. And people sit around and they talk about what they want and they talk about what other people have, but they don't go out and get it. They don't. And it's so frustrating to me that I spent so much of my time with people that were not proactive with their time. When I realized that, and I kind of had the epiphany about like the people I was spending my time with and like the things that I was doing and just the type of person that I was, because essentially who you surround yourself with is who you become. I don't care what anyone says. It happens that way. It really does. To a certain extent. Not everyone is as extreme as the other person, but it happens. I adapt to my environment very, very, very well. So if I'm hanging out with somebody who is drinking every day, that's what I'm gonna be doing. It's crazy too, because I don't think that I would be like that now, but that's definitely who the younger version and the more immature version, because I feel like I've aged years by moving out here. I really do. And that's not bullshit. I swear. I was just about to say I feel like a mom, but I am a mom. No, you guys know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? It's just really important, you guys. I cannot stress it enough. Pay attention to who you're surrounding yourself with. If you are into photography, you love taking pictures and you love getting creative, you're a creative type of person, great, amazing. That's like the coolest thing that you can be in life, is a creative human being. If you're noticing that you're hanging out with people that are taking away from your creative time and your creative abilities, get rid of them. You would much rather you would do so much better on your own than you would hanging out and just having company, because you're having the wrong kind of company. When I realized that, that was another motivation for me to get the out of Fort Wayne. I was doing nothing, what's the word? Productive. I wasn't being productive. I was trying to be productive. It looked like I was being productive, but looking back, I can't believe it. I just can't believe that I wasted so much time. Yeah, whole different topic, but I just had to say, number one, you need to figure out what motivates you to get out of where you are. Just a little side note, there were more things too, like where I come from, people are just super, super close-minded, and I don't know, just conservative and stuck. Everyone that I see in Fort Wayne is just doing the same thing, the same routine every single day, and I cannot be that person. Okay, number two, you definitely, absolutely can do it on your own. When I say on your own, I mean like solo, like by yourself, you can do it. I promise you can do it. But I'm a very independent person, but I'm also dependent on people in certain kinds of ways. My boyfriend and I were already together, and it was nice because that was also his goal, was to get out of Indiana. And he's literally been all over the world. He lived in Europe for a little bit. He lived in Cali. He's lived in Arizona. Like, he's literally been all over, and he's traveled, and he's gotten to see a lot of really cool things. He knew that the world had more to offer than what we were living in. So he was also on board, and that really helped me as well, because like I said, I'm a very independent person, but when it comes to making large decisions, sometimes it takes a positive influence for me to kind of like actually bite the bullet and get it done. He was that for me. He was motivation for me as well. It really helps to have somebody, your friend, your best friend, your significant other, your sister, your brother, whoever it may be, somebody close to you though, and somebody that has the same kind of mentality as you. It's very important. I've definitely made friends that I thought like, oh, this is gonna be the friend that like, when we make it out together, this is gonna be the person. And it just never ends up being that person. And for him, it was. And it was crazy because you know when you know, okay? So like I said, you can do it on your own, but for me, it definitely absolutely helped to have him by my side. Also, he's he's got the brains out of the two of us. Like, I feel like I'm the book smart one and he's the street smart one. Like, he has all the common sense in the world, and he's legitimately one of the most intelligent people that I know. I'm not trying to call myself out or anything, but I didn't really know how to go about like selling my truck. I didn't know like what plane tickets to get. I didn't know like, I didn't know all that stuff. So I'm glad that he was there to help me. Yeah, that's another factor, is having a partner and having somebody, the right partner, to help you along the way. Okay, so basically how it happened. We were struggling, we were lost, we were f***ed up, we didn't know what we were gonna do. We were sleeping in my truck because we didn't want to ask my parents if we could sleep on their couch. My life was very, very up and down and hectic and crazy and unstable. And I made a lot of poor decisions, and I picked and trusted a lot of people that I shouldn't have, and I got myself into a lot of situations and ended up homeless. That was a really hard time for me. I had a vision, and I knew what I wanted so bad, and I could not figure out for the life of me how to get there. It was crazy. Like, we both had two people that were really close to us that screwed us over really badly at the same time, at the exact same time. And I watched him just be so heartbroken and hurt, and I was also heartbroken and hurt. And that's where it starts. It starts with us being at the lowest of lows, not having hope, honestly. Like, I literally wanted to just die. Like, I just wanted to give up, and I didn't know what I was gonna do with my life. I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, and we were the only thing in each other's lives that were keeping each other going. We woke up in my truck one morning. It was literally blizzarding. We just looked at each other and basically said, let's get out, let's go. Really, my plan was to just get as much possible money out of this truck that I can. If we have enough, let's buy plane tickets, and let's buy all of our traveling expenses and enough for us to get us on our feet when we get there. We went and got the truck looked at. He was really interested and made an offer. We ended up selling it the next morning. Mind you, we both had like, I had like $100. He had like, I don't know, a few $100s, if that. All the stuff that was in my truck, those were all of our belongings. That's all we had. So I ended up selling the truck, and I don't remember for exactly how much I sold it for. Hang on, I actually might have the receipt. I knew it. So I wouldn't normally be telling people this, but for the sake of this video, like, I really just don't care, because I want you guys to know like exactly how much we moved with. $9,522. So this is how it happened. The whole getting here was a mess, because after I sold the truck, we went back to my parents' house. We got an Uber because we lost our means of transportation. So we get back to my parents' house. We had absolutely no idea what we were gonna do, where we were gonna go, how we were even gonna get there. No clue, not a single idea. We were researching, we were Googling, we were like watching YouTube videos. Like, we didn't know where we were gonna go, but we were on a freaking, what's the word? Time crunch. Thank you, McKayla. I know for some reason we kept saying Portland, and then we were like reverting back to, I think we were like talking about Seattle, and then we were talking about Portland again. We knew that we either wanted to be super west or super east, but we had absolutely no idea. I think that just weird signs and signals ended up leading us to Portland, Oregon. We got a bus from Fort Wayne to Cincinnati, and then flew from the Cincinnati airport to Portland. But actually, it was a whole mess. Our bus was late. We missed our flight. Our flights were non-refundable, so then we had to spend like I think it was like $700 on 2 more flights, which was just a mess. And I was so pissed off about that. Like, literally, I was in the airport bawling. Eventually, we finally got to Portland, and our plan was to find an apartment. The cost of living is pretty expensive, I'm not gonna lie. We pay for our apartment in Portland the price of what we would get a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom house in Fort Wayne, which is kind of nuts. But come on. I would much rather be here. We were just looking for somewhere that was small, that would be just enough space for him and I. So we got a little 500 square foot apartment. That's basically what we did. When we got here, we stayed in Airbnbs for probably, I think that was like a week period where we were just apartment and house hunting. We looked at apartments every day and got familiar with the city because we knew we wanted to live downtown. And the Airbnbs that we were staying in, we were just staying in the suburbs because it's a lot cheaper than actually like staying downtown. And then we ended up scoring this amazing deal on the studio apartment. Little did we know that there would be loud ass construction right outside our bedroom window at 5 in the morning every single day. But it's all right because we're here and we made it and we did it, and everyone said that we wouldn't. It's crazy to me that we've been here for already almost a year. That's bizarre. I feel like you don't count time being out here. Does that make any sense? Which now that I'm having a baby, like things have changed a little bit. But overall, my mentality is just so different. It's so different. And I know that it is because I am in an environment where the people are nicer, the people are more open-minded, the air is cleaner, there's so much more to see, there's so much more to experience. After moving in, we basically just established ourselves over time. We didn't want to put too much pressure on ourselves because we knew that there was no like right or wrong way to do things. We just knew that we were doing it. We weren't gonna let anything like discourage us or stress us out or put too much pressure on us. So yeah, I mean, we're definitely still figuring things out. And the hardest part was just making the decision. The hardest part is just actually doing it. I've gotten a lot of questions about money, like specific amounts. McKayla, I wanna know how much money do I need to move? And it seriously depends on where you go. But I know it's really expensive to be here. So if you're gonna move somewhere where it's not as expensive as here, like 9,500 is plenty. You can do it probably with, I would say 5,000. I wish that I would have been a little bit more smart and frugal with my money, but we were set, we were fine, and we are fine. So I know you can do it with $9,500 or less. We also threw away $400 because we missed our flights. So if you're just careful and you're attentive to your money, girl, since we did sell our truck before we moved out here, we don't have a means of transportation. So we wanted to be somewhere where public transportation was an option and simple and easy for us to take and use. That's why we also decided to be downtown so that we can walk everywhere. I mean, we're literally like right in the heart of downtown. Anywhere you want to go, it's walking distance because it's like the farthest thing away is 20 minutes, you know what I mean? Unless you're trying to go like outside of downtown. I don't know what it's like in other places, but I've gotten so accustomed to taking the train around here that I actually like really enjoy it. I don't mind not having a car. Now we're obviously gonna get a car because we have a baby, like we have to have a car. But if you live downtown, that's another way to save money, because I know that people that own cars that live downtown pay like an extra $300 a month just to pay for parking, because most places don't provide parking for their residents. So if you feel like you can be carless, like we decided that we didn't really have an option because we didn't have money. Like we had to sell the truck. So we had to be somewhere where there was gonna be public transportation, and it just worked out perfectly for us. So that's another thing to think about. I don't know if you'd save money driving. It just depends on where you go. I would just say like, just do your research. We are crazy people and like literally don't plan anything, which I think planning is like kind of for the birds anyway, but there are certain things that you obviously have to plan, right? For us, like we did it in literally 2 days. We had everything figured out in 2 days. We did it in 2 days. Like I'm still so proud of us, you guys. I cannot believe that we're here. I can't. It's still so surreal. But it's also not, because I envision myself over and over and over and over. My camera just ran out of storage. Like I was saying, the power of manifestation, you guys, is so unbelievably real. I am a living, walking, talking prime example of you literally can do anything you put your mind to. I was homeless, broke, had nobody, had nothing, and now I live all the way on the West Coast. I have a baby on the way, and I'm in love with my best friend. I have my partner for life, and I could not be any happier. Oh, it feels so good to say that. It feels so good. And I don't know if it took Gerald to push me to get to where I am, but I know for damn sure that I am so proud of myself. I have a long way to go. I have a long way to go, but I sure as am not where I was a year ago. It has been the wildest journey. It has been a crazy 21 years. I can't believe I'm already almost 22. I can't believe that I'm a mom. I can't believe that I have a family, literally living my dream. But I'm also not satisfied. I have a lot more that I want to achieve. I have a lot more that I want to do, and I will constantly, every single day, I will envision what I want. If you want the power of manifestation to really work in your favor, when you envision things, you need to not only picture the living image, you need to picture your emotions. You need to picture it with feeling, because the more you feel like you can feel, the more it becomes real. I'm not an expert, but in my life, I've noticed it is really important to be grateful and to be humble and to be like gracious of everything that you have and everything that the world has given you. But it's also important to envision what you want and to feel that shit. You have to let go of clutter, because you have to be constantly letting in new room for new things. Also letting go of any attachments to outcomes that you may have. That's a tough one, and that's something that I actually really struggle with. Even if you don't get to the point where something doesn't go as you planned it, just being attached to what you think is gonna happen gives you room to be disappointed, if that makes any sense. There's a line to it as well, because like I said, you have to picture and you have to envision things and feel things for them to come true. But you also have to know that whether you believe in a greater force of things or not, we all know that things don't happen as we always want them to, or as we always plan them to. So I just think that there are certain things in your mind that you can do to speed up the process of manifestation, if you want to say. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but that's just something that I've noticed. You guys, I just got the flashing battery sign, which means my camera's about to die, which means that I'm gonna try and answer these questions really fast. I got, how much money did I leave with? How much money would I recommend to save living in the demographic I live now? So I kind of already went over that. I left with $9,500 exactly, but like I said, it's really doable with half that. Just be smart and do your research, and it depends on where you're going. How long did I save? Well, you guys know that story. Literally 2 days. Did I have a place ready or find one when I got here? I kind of went over that already as well. We didn't look at apartments at all, by the way, until we were settled in our Airbnb. How did I find the place I am in now, and how long did it take me? We were in our Airbnb for about a week and a half, and I think we found it on like apartments.com or something like that. Those websites are so useful, you guys. How did I find new friends? I have none. I literally have no friends, but I am totally cool with that, because I'm so focused on myself and my family right now and my work. And I mean, like, it's cool to, I'm like involved in mommy groups and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know. And that's a whole other topic, but for right now, friends aren't a priority to me. How hard is it being away from my family? Honestly, it's hard. It sucks, but it's just what I'm dealing with, because this is the life that we wanted for ourselves. And you guessed it, would it be a McKayla video without the storage running out of space and without my camera dying? Nope, absolutely not, it wouldn't be. So I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I think we were talking about like being away from family. So it is definitely difficult, and I know that it's gonna be harder with a baby, because I'm, like I said, very, very close to my dad's side of the family. So it's gonna be strange being without them for this like brand new, crazy, wild chapter of my life, and like not having them to rely on and fall back on. And not only that, but just their like emotional support. Like, it's gonna be strange, and it's gonna suck too, because I am so close with them and we're gonna be so far away. So she's not gonna like grow up with them every single day, which it does like make me sad, but it's what I chose and it's what I decided and what Gerald and I have decided for our family, I guess I should say. So yes, it's tough, but it's life and I'm okay with that. I guess I should say, like, to answer this question, I deal with it by reminding myself that I wanted this. I chose this. How does my family feel about everything? Move, man, baby, etc. They are over the moon for me. At first, my dad was worried because he knows of my past and he knows me like he knows the freaking back of his hand. And he thought that I wasn't gonna be able to do it. He really didn't have, like, he had faith in me, but I'm his daughter and he was worried. At first, with the move, like, he was supportive, but he was just like, I think he was thinking that I was gonna come back right away. A year ago, the McKayla I knew would have moved back. She would have definitely moved back. She also would have been piss broke and calling up her dad and saying, I need you to get me home. And it's just so funny, like, life, man, life. Like, life has really, really changed. And I know that my family can see that, no doubt in my mind. And my dad, of course, like, they want me to be close. They try to talk me into moving home all the time, but they are so happy for me. And my Grammy actually for Christmas, like, sent a cute little care package. And she wrote me a letter and she was just saying, like, in the past, was I concerned about your future? Absolutely. Was I concerned about what you were gonna do with your life? Absolutely. And she basically just said, now, like, there's no doubt in my mind that you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and I'm so proud of who you are and the woman that you're becoming. And oh my God, it's making me wanna cry. That really touched my heart because that's genuinely how I feel. And it's just so amazing and incredible to know that other people can see that from me as well. So yes, my family, my dad's side of the family, they are so supportive of everything. They love Gerald. My dad and Gerald are like this, you guys. They have like the weirdest bond ever. They've actually first met, oh my God, I can't even explain to you their first meeting. My dad was so drunk. Gerald was so gone. I don't even know how you guys, it was a shit show, and somehow like Gerald gave him every reason to not like him, basically. And my dad was like, he's the one for you. So if that says anything, it does feel really good though for my family to like approve, because I was a wild child and I made a lot of crazy poor decisions. Like I can't wait to get into some story times with you guys when like more people actually care. One day when I do tell you some stories, you're gonna be like, what? It's crazy, like seeing how much I've progressed. It's really cool actually. And I do thank myself, of course, but I also thank the West Coast because I just find it so hard to not do the right thing out here. Okay, next question. Was I ever worried about how can I afford this? For sure, yeah, and I'm still worried about that kind of stuff, especially with a baby on the way. Like, money is inevitably something that you're gonna think about constantly, which sucks. And it's crazy too because moving out here has kind of changed my mentality on money. I used to see it as something, a possession, something that like you strived for and you craved, and obviously everyone wants money. You need money to survive. But now my mentality on money is it's strictly a tool to get to where you want to be. It's not about how much money you have, it's about what you do with your money. Wow, that was a good point. Just saying. I don't want to say that I'm worried because any emotion that you have will reflect your future. So I like to say that I'm thinking about it for sure, but in my head I'm like constantly just moving puzzle pieces and moving game pieces. Like I'm not so focused on like, oh my God, what am I gonna do with this? And this is gonna cost me this much money. And also, wherever you move, check to see if you qualify for healthcare from your state, so Medicaid essentially. And I know that may sound silly and kind of ridiculous for somebody to be like, make sure you check in to see if you qualify for Medicaid, because it just sounds like desperate. But honestly, I knew that with a baby, things were gonna be a little bit more strenuous on us financially. So I looked into it and I qualified. There's ways around it too. Like you just gotta use your brain. That's another way to save a lot of money as well. Like my labor and delivery is completely covered by my insurance. My breast pump completely covered by my insurance. All my doctor's visits, like everything. I don't have to pay a single thing out of pocket. No deductible, nothing. So that's just another little tip. And I know that not all of you are pregnant and expecting, but that is also a way to save money. So there are ways, there are seriously ways, you guys. Just be smart. That's all I have to say. What didn't you like about Indiana? That was a few people asked me that actually. It's funny because when people ask me, like my Uber drivers, for some reason that's their go-to, they ask me like, where are you from? Can you tell that I'm not from here? But I don't know. But when they ask me that, I'm just like, it doesn't matter. And they just laugh. Like they think it's the funniest thing in the whole world, but I'm like dead ass serious. Like it legitimately doesn't matter. I don't feel like talking about it. That's it. Sorry, I got nothing else for you. Like there's corn and lame people and flatland. That's all. I'm glad that I was raised there because I didn't feel as privileged growing up in Indiana as I may have felt in California. That was all the more motivation for me to just get out. What's one important thing you wish you knew before you went? Wow, that's a good question. I wanted to just say right then when I did that I knew that I would be pregnant. But that was the happiest surprise of my life. So I take that back. I don't really know. Honestly, I think everything happened exactly the way that I wanted it to. I think the only thing would be to tell myself that the money from the truck should go straight into savings. I wish that I would have just spent what I needed to and put the rest up in savings right away. And I did, some of it I did, but it got used up real quick. But I wish that I would have turned that money into more money instead of just like basically letting it sit and just taking and taking and taking from it. But that's really the only thing, because like I said, money really is a tool. It's a game. It's like playing a game. So I wish I would have came across that mentality sooner. Was I nervous about not having a place to stay before I found an apartment? Honestly, no, because I knew that with the money we had that we would be able to find something. Well, okay, I take that back. I do remember having multiple nervous breakdowns and anxiety attacks. Poor Gerald, oh my God, that poor man. I do remember like being in one particular Airbnb and Gerald and I like getting in a fight. During the fight, I didn't know why we were fighting. And then I realized it was because I was so stressed out that I was like taking every single thing out on him. Wait, what was the question again? Oh, was I nervous about not having a place to stay? Yeah, so I wasn't, but I was. I'm a very just like, all right, let's do whatever kind of person. Like I don't plan things. I'm kind of just all over the place. I guess like I wasn't stressed out, but I was. But sometimes I use that as an excuse for me to just like lash out on people, like for my own deeper stress levels. I don't know. I'm also not a psychiatrist, but meditating and having a person that's kind of like on the same wavelength as you just gotta stay strong. Stay focused on the outcome. Remember, keep envisioning your goals and your dreams with feeling. I swear on my life, I swear. That is the most effective method. Oh my God, I'm like, can you hear my voice? I'm like starting to become hoarse. All right, well, Gerald is on his way home. I hope that this was helpful and insightful for you guys. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to ask. I really do want to help people because I feel like I preached and preached and preached to so many people like before I even did move, and I hadn't moved. I hadn't even moved yet and I was trying to preach to people. That was when I was like making all those realizations that I was talking about. So now that I actually have made the move and I'm actually here and I'm actually doing what I said I was going to, I really just feel like I can help you guys. And I'm not perfect. I struggle a lot of the time, but we're all human. And I think that I'm doing a fantastic job, honestly. I'm really happy with where I am, and mark my words, in a year I will be in a huge house and I will be referring back to this video. I'm so glad that you guys decided to watch this video. Let me know, like I said, if you have any specific questions. I hope that I covered everything that you wanted to know. Also, if you're one of those people, you're watching right now and you are one of those people that have in fact moved across the country, made the move, done what you said you were gonna do, please, if you have any advice for me, let me know. If there's something that I didn't touch on, if there's something that you wanna talk about, refer back to, let me know. Seriously, anything that you had to say, I'm always so willing to talk about anything. I'm super open-minded, and I really appreciate you guys being here with me. Okay, I'll shut up. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it and if you wanna see more, and I'll talk to you guys soon.